It seems like if I'm talking about a Samsung these days, I'm talking about battery life. They can't get a hold on it. We were talking yesterday about the Galaxy A53 5G and its battery woes. The fact that it's running an Exynos 1280 and can still only come in at just over 5 hours of screen on time. Then you got this bad boy, the S22 Ultra, that you basically took out a mortgage for, that can't get 6 hours comfortably. And it seems to be a different problem every time that I look at the battery app and see what's causing the drain. Today's offender, or the one recently, seems to be something called Samsung Accessory Services, which creates some sort of, you read the description for it, it looks like vaporware. It's like, oh, well, it creates a familiar environment for network devices to, I was like, what? What are you talking about? Turn it off. It was using like 4% of the available battery or something like that, but it's crazy. So if you're struggling with battery like I am, go ahead and look and see if it's maybe the Samsung Accessory Services that's causing that. But whatever it is, there is an odd battery drain that persists however many months on after the April patch on the S22 Ultra, and they really need to figure it out because it's not a usage issue. And I think the big disparity between people getting 6 and 7 hours of screen on time and being perfectly happy with the battery experience on their S22 Ultra, and those of us like me that are sucking wind at 5 hours, 5.5 hours, is how much you use it. So I was playing Pokemon Go with my wife over the weekend. I was using this device. It was a raid day in Japan or something like that. So it was later in the evening, and we were getting a ton of raid invites. So it was just constantly, just nonstop using it, going into raids, fighting. It must have been a half hour, 45 minutes using it. Pokemon Go, full 120 hertz, rocking out. I used maybe 4% of the available battery. I think it went from 45% to 41% in a half hour or more straight using it playing Pokemon Go. Which I'm like, well, how come this if it could do that, how come it just can't sit around? And so that to me really sealed it, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I still get a bunch of comments. This is a battery drain issue, not necessarily an efficiency issue with the Snapdragon Gen 8 Mark 1. Not saying that the Snapdragons have been particularly good on battery. They haven't. The 888 was trash. This one, it gets hot. Efficiency's not so great either. But I do think that the battery woes are definitely something that could be solved in software when it comes to the S22 Ultra. Because the drain is a different app every other time. It's something else that's sucking up battery while you're not using the device. And I've seen people, and I've had this. You leave it overnight, off the charger, fully charged, and you're down to 80% by morning. I know a lot of people in the comment section were telling me, I put this on the charger, I get 25% battery drain overnight. I believe it now. I believe it. Because I put my SIM back in it, I've been using it. I wanted to see what was going on, because as time's has gone on, and I've done those couple of battery drain videos, and since the April update, the comments have been firing up a little bit more over there. People saying they've had problems with this and that. So perhaps it's Samsung Accessory Services. People have been complaining about that online. There's been a lot of issues with it. There's been issues with it in the past. OnePlus phones are suffering with that as well. And that, that starts to make sense, because I had problems with my OnePlus 9 after certain updates, and I just blamed it on the Snapdragon 888. And while the Snapdragon 888 gets hot, and that does not help battery efficiency, perhaps it's not the only thing out there to blame. So if you're somebody who has been having persistent battery issues with your S22 Ultra, let me know your screen on time below, but let me know your usage pattern. Because if you're somebody like me that has the phone on standby, not really doing a whole heck of a lot with it during the day, there'll be periods where you use it a lot, and then there'll be periods where you don't use it at all. I think, personally, that we're getting a lot worse battery usage than other people that are just absolutely power users heavy into the phone. In fact, I want to pull it up right now, because you could see we're at what? 82%. Okay? We're at 82% if we could get that to focus in. Take my word for it. There you go. 82% for the day so far on our S22 Ultra. And let's see where we are in terms of battery usage and screen on time. Yeah. 47 minutes 47 minutes of screen on time. 82%. That's going to be under 5 hours with that pattern for the day. And what do we got? A lot of nothing. Twitter, Chrome, always on display. There's that Samsung accessory service, right? Less than a minute used. It was 4% yesterday. Google Play services. So it's just, there's not a lot going on here. Not doing a whole heck of a lot with the device. But it just keeps draining and draining and draining. So 47 minutes for 18% of battery is pretty bad for a device with a battery this big that you paid this kind of money for. So what I want to know is if you're a heavy power user, what's your battery drain experience? Because I'm willing to bet, and I'm willing to do that because I did it over the weekend, that under load, under strain, when you're actually just using it just constantly, that you could get 6 or 7 hours of battery life on this device. But when you just let it sit and exist, like most of us I think we do, especially during the workday or something like that, you're doing something else, you're just sitting there, that you're experiencing abnormal battery drain. So that is both encouraging and not. I thought it was just going to be a Snapdragon issue, and there's nothing you could do about that until next year when they come out with the next phone. But if it's a software drain issue, then Samsung, get on it. Get on your horse. That's something that you should be on and trying to fix to improve battery life. You did it over the course of the year with the S21 Ultra. Well, we're a couple months in now. Now it's time to start working on it for the S22 Ultra, because I think it's inside this device to be able to get 6, 7, maybe even more of battery life, because it can handle doing things for long periods of time with the screen on at 120 hertz and not experience that bad of a drain. But apparently sitting around, it can't do. It's like a Formula One car, right? Those NASCARs, they can't run at 2,000 RPM. They're not designed there. They're only designed to run at 9,500 RPM. Otherwise, they break. Maybe that's the same here. They've designed these Snapdragons. They can only run the reactor at 100%. If they're just sitting around, they're rotting, basically. I don't know what it is, but let me know your experience below and what kind of user you are, because I think that is the deciding factor. If you're using it straight, you're going to not notice battery drain that badly. If you're just letting it sit around, I think you're going to pick up the phone after a couple hours and say, where did this 20% of battery life go? If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Remember, Long Island Watch, longislandwatch.com. Wearing the red today. Mark's got some fun designs for summer, really cool watches. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.